I, Dr. Sandra Lee, transformed a modest Southern California practice into an internationally recognized dermatology brand. Through television and social media, she became known for treating severe acne cases and skin conditions that others avoided. Millions of viewers trusted her expertise, and her calm precision made her a household name. Her clinic became a hub of hope for patients seeking confidence and relief, while her online presence expanded into a powerful educational platform about skin health over time. Worldwide, audience a routine filming day that suddenly felt different. It began like any other day inside her busy clinic, with cameras set up and patients arriving for consultations and procedures. Dr. Lee maintained her usual focus, moving between cases with precision and calm efficiency. However, midway through the schedule, she noticed an unusual sensation of heat spreading through her body. She assumed it was temporary, perhaps stress or exhaustion, and continued working. At first, nothing seemed alarming enough to interrupt the flow of appointments or filming. As time progressed on set, early warning signs that were easy to dismiss at first. After the initial discomfort, her condition seemed to shift in subtle but concerning ways. She felt waves of fatigue and lightheadedness that were unusual for her. Despite her medical background, she rationalized the symptoms as dehydration or stress from overwork. She continued pushing through her responsibilities, convinced it would pass. However, the discomfort did not resolve. Instead, it lingered in the background, quietly intensifying, while she remained focused on her patients and filming schedule without clear explanation. At that time, a visit to her parents' house that raised concern. That evening, she went to her parents' home nearby, hoping to rest and recover from what she thought was simple exhaustion, yet her body did not settle. She experienced sharp radiating pain in her leg that made walking uncomfortable. Even basic movement felt slightly off, though she tried to ignore it. The sense that something was wrong grew stronger, but she could not yet identify the seriousness of her condition or connect it to something life-threatening at the time. Yet, when symptoms escalated into something she could not ignore, the next morning brought a frightening progression of symptoms that were no longer easy to dismiss. Her coordination felt impaired, and she struggled with balance while moving around. One of her hands began to feel weak, almost as if it belonged to someone else. Speaking also became difficult, with words coming out unclear and fragmented. Despite being a doctor who recognized neurological warning signs, she initially hesitated to believe what was happening to her in that moment. Uncertainty grew quickly, rapidly. Her father's immediate reaction that changed everything. Recognizing the severity of her symptoms, her father, who was also a physician, immediately urged her to seek emergency medical attention. He did not hesitate or downplay what he was seeing. His experience allowed him to recognize the possibility of a stroke even before confirmation. His urgency overrode any doubt she had left. This intervention became the turning point that ensured she reached the hospital quickly, where life-saving treatment could begin. Without delay, a critical decision in real time was made. Then hospital diagnosis that confirmed the worst fear. At the hospital, doctors quickly conducted scans and neurological evaluations to determine the cause of her symptoms. The MRI results revealed a clear ischemic stroke caused by a blood clot, restricting oxygen flow to part of her brain. The seriousness of the condition became immediately apparent. Medical staff emphasized that every minute mattered, as brain cells begin to die rapidly when oxygen supply is cut off. So the diagnosis confirmed both the severity and urgency of her situation. Without any delay, needed urgent care. Understanding the impact on brain function and abilities, doctors explained that an ischemic stroke can have lasting effects depending on the area of the brain affected and the speed of treatment. In her case, the interruption of blood flow had already caused some neurological damage. She later described the experience as feeling like a portion of her brain had simply stopped working. This affected her speech coordination and fine motor skills, all essential to her profession as a dermatologist and surgeon, and it was deeply alarming to her personally, professionally. The overlooked risk factors that had been building for years. In hindsight, several underlying health factors had been present but not adequately addressed. High blood pressure, elevated cholesterol levels, and chronic stress had quietly accumulated over time. Like many professionals in demanding careers, she continued working at a relentless pace without prioritizing long-term preventative care. These risk factors significantly increase the likelihood of cardiovascular and neurological events such as stroke, yet they are often ignored until a serious incident forces attention, despite knowing better medically over time, slowly still. From early struggles to a career shaped by persistence. Her journey into dermatology was not straightforward. Despite growing up around medicine through her father's clinic work, she initially faced setbacks in her training path, including not matching into her desired specialty on the first attempt. This forced her to reconsider her direction and strengthen her determination. Eventually, through persistence and continued effort, she secured her place in dermatology and completed her medical training. Her path reflected resilience and an unwillingness to give up that defined her journey, overcoming odds, the rise of a digital brand that changed everything. Her entry into online media began in 2010 with simple educational videos focused on dermatology procedures. At first, the content attracted little attention. However, one particular video showcasing a blackhead extraction unexpectedly went viral, capturing global curiosity. From that moment, her presence expanded rapidly across platforms. She gained millions of followers, television opportunities, and eventually built a recognizable personal brand that blended medicine, entertainment, and education into a unique and influential career that kept growing worldwide influence year after year, strong recovery reflection, and a changed perspective on life. Following her stroke, Dr. Lee faced a challenging recovery period that required patience and gradual rehabilitation. Everyday tasks felt different, and she had to adjust to temporary limitations in movement, strength, and coordination. Despite the difficulties, she slowly regained functionality and returned to her professional work. However, the experience fundamentally changed her outlook on health work and balance in life. She began emphasizing awareness, prevention, and listening to the body's warning signs more seriously, and continues to share openly with others today.